It was Britain's biggest manhunt ever. Hundreds of police officers and volunteers, all focused on the quiet village of Soham in Cambridgeshire. Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman, both aged 10, had vanished on their way to the local sweet shop.
I thought we'd better talk to the last person to say they had seen her alive, and that, of course, was Ian Huntley, and I talked to him just outside his house in front of the village college there. How do we know they were here at 6:15? Well, we have an eyewitness. Ian Huntley here is a familiar figure. Evening, Ian. You're the school caretaker. The girls, Jessica and Holly, would know you, and they saw you on the front doorstep. What went on?
Well, I don't know the girls. I stood on the front doorstep grooming my dog down. She'd run away and come back a bit of a mess. They just came across and asked how Miss Carr was, as she used to teach them at St Andrews. I just said she weren't very good, as she hadn't got the job. And they just says, please tell her that we're very sorry. And off they walked in the direction of the library over there.
So with that intro, today we're talking about Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman and their brutal murder that happened back in August of 2002. Holly and Jessica were the best of friends. They met when they were 4 years old, and when they disappeared, they were 10 years old. They were having a barbecue at Holly's house, so Jessica was spending some time there with Holly's family. Jessica always had a cell phone on her so that her mom can know exactly where she's at. She might be in a few of these clips. I'm gonna try to clip her out as much as I possibly can. Back to the story. The girls got a little bored at Holly's barbecue, and around 5 p.m. the girls decided to go out into the town and get some lollipops from one of the convenience stores that was there. But prior to them leaving the house, they decided to wear matching Manchester United shirts. So that is one of the main pictures that is out there of the two girls, of them matching with the Manchester United. They wanted to make it known to the public that they were wearing this clothes the last time that they were seen, so that they can look out for the girls. However, around 8 p.m. struck and the girls still hadn't come back from the convenience store, and that's when Holly's parents got in contact with Jessica's parents and let them know that the girls never came back to Holly's house. Jessica's mom tried to get in contact with her by calling her cell phone over and over and over and over again, but there was no response from Jessica. The search for the girls went on for weeks on end, and the public was really trying to help out with it. They had people searching all over the place. There was one specific person that saw the girls last, and his name was Ian Huntley. He was really helpful in the investigation. He tried to provide any information that he had in regards to the girls, and he even mentioned that he was the last person to have seen them. He said that he didn't really know the girls, but that they stopped by his house because they were asking about his girlfriend, which was Maxine Carr. Maxine Carr was a teacher at the school where the girls went to, and according to Ian, they stopped by his house to find out if Miss Carr had gotten the job at the school for the next year because they wanted her to stay there. He states that he told them unfortunately she didn't get the job, and when they asked for her to come out, he said that she was in the bathtub taking a bath because she had had a long day. They told her, according to him, they told him that they were really sorry that she didn't get the job and that they would miss her, and to let her know that they said hi, and they went off on their way. However, there was many holes in his story along with Maxine's story. She had claimed that she was at home that day. However, so many people saw her around the area where her mother lived. So November 3rd of 2003, an investigation on Ian Huntley began. Ian Huntley was a 28-year-old man who had moved to Soham. He also worked in the same school, but he was an aide at the school. He wasn't an actual teacher. In the search, they had looked all over the place, including the girls' school. However, there was a shed in the school which Ian said that he did not have keys to because he had keys to several rooms in the school. They asked him about the shed. He said that he wasn't sure where the keys were, but that he would try to find them. So when they ended up finding holes in his and Maxine's story, they ended up trying to go through the phone records of Jessica's phone, and they ended up being able to pin the location where her phone was actually turned off. which was by nearby Ian and Maxine's house. So when they were able to pin that information, they ended up feeling really suspicious about Ian, and they brought him and Maxine in for questioning. While they were questioning Ian and Maxine, they actually went in and got a warrant to search their home. When they went in to search their home, they ended up finding a key to that shed that Ian said that he did not have a key to. When they walked into the shed, they ended up finding a plastic bag, and they had Ian's fingerprints on them. So not only did they find the clothes of the girls in plastic bags with Ian's fingerprints on it, more disturbingly enough, they were able to find residue from where the girls' bodies were found. It was a chalky substance that was nearby where the girls' bodies were found in that ditch on the lower axles of Ian's car. So that was more evidence towards the fact that he was the person that killed them. Especially when he had no explanation as to why his tires and the lower axles of his car had that residue. There was no other way for him to defend himself. Girls' bodies were later found in a ditch near an Air Force base. The Air Force base was about 7 to 8 miles away from Soham. When they found their bodies, unfortunately their bodies were burned to a crisp. When they finally broke Ian down, he ended up telling them a different story. The story was never confirmed because he never actually confessed a believable story, but according to Ian, the girls came knocking on his door because one of the girls had a nosebleed. He said that he tried to help them, so he brought them inside and took them to the bathroom. So according to Ian, once he took them up to the bathroom, he had a bathtub full of water, and one of the girls ended up falling into the bath and drowned. Either Holly or Jessica was the one that drowned, and the other one ended up finding the girl dead in the bathroom, and to stop her screaming, he said that he closed her mouth and accidentally ended up smothering her. Ian was found guilty of both murders and was given a life sentence for each count. Maxine Carr was found guilty for giving a false alibi. She was given a sentence of 3.5 years, but she only served 1. And that is the story of the Soham murders and Holly and Jessica. Just goes to show that you can't really trust anyone. Ian was someone that was supposedly wanting to help the investigation. He was a person that was supposed to have been able to be trusted around people's children because he worked at the school. That was another thing that actually was impacted by this case. So the police force was able to have a national database that was placed in the year 2011 due to Holly and Jessica. So I feel like there's always some sort of silver lining to these things. It should have been in place already so that this could never happen, so that this wouldn't have been able to happen to begin with. But I think it's a really great thing that they were able to put into place so that this never happens to anyone again, simply because in the year 1998, Ian was charged with the rape of an 18-year-old girl. So had that police database been enforced prior to Holly and Jessica's disappearance, this probably could have never happened, or would have never happened, I should say, because he would have never worked at the school. He probably wouldn't have been able to be with Maxine. So many things could have been prevented with that police database. And like I said, there's always some sort of silver lining to these awful tragedies. We learn and we try to make changes, and that's one thing that Holly and Jessica have done. They're saving so many lives by the tragic events that happen in theirs. I really hope you guys enjoyed this True Crime Tuesday. And Case File actually has a podcast episode on this story as well, which is so much more detailed. It's a whole half hour. So I'm going to link that down below. He has it on YouTube, so I'm going to link it down below so that you guys can listen to it as well. It's so interesting. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these kind of videos, and if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting true crime videos every Tuesday, as I have been. They will continue to come out, so just keep an eye out for that. I hope to see you guys on Thursday if you guys are into more fun stuff, beauty-related stuff, if you're into that. And if not, I will see you right back here next Tuesday on next week's True Crime Tuesday. See ya!